Welcome to VGuide TV. In this video, moving charges and magnetism, part 2. I am discussing about magnetic force on a current carrying conductor. Magnetic force on a current carrying conductor placed in a uniform magnetic field. Let this be a conductor, okay? And the length of the conductor is L. Take N be the number of electrons per unit volume of the conductor and A be the area of cross section of the conductor. So N be the number of electrons per unit volume and A be the area of cross section of this conductor. And this conductor is placed in a magnetic field B, makes an angle theta. This conductor is placed in a magnetic field B, makes an angle theta. Now, we need to find what is the force on this conductor. Okay, clear? Conductor, length L, A be the area of cross section and N be the number of electrons per unit volume, and this conductor carries a current of I. Okay, and the conductor is placed in a magnetic field, it makes an angle theta. Our question is, what is the force on this conductor? So what I am doing is, in the previous video I discussed about the Lorentz force. So, I have written an equation first. What is the magnetic Lorentz force of an electron? If there is only one electron, the magnetic Lorentz force, that is only magnetic force, is Q into V cross B. Here we are talking about the electron. So, I can write it as F is equal to Q into V cross B is our equation. But here I am talking about electron. So, minus E into V cross B. Next, what I am doing is, this is only for one electron. I have taken a length of element dl. First you find out in the length of element dl what will be the, or how many number of electrons will be there. So that you can do it Na into dl, right? If you want to find this much length, how many electrons are there? N into number of electrons per unit volume into volume. What is the volume of this section? That will be area of cross section into length. So Na dl into E is the magnetic force due to this element. So I can write the equation. I told you in the current electricity, my video you just watch. In that I told you a shortcut equation for current as AVEN. Current as AVEN, A-V-E-N. So if you check it, who all are there? A-V-E-N. Instead of A-V-N, I am writing I. So I into dl cross B. So I got a new equation, I into dl cross B. This is the magnetic force due to this element. If you need the total element force, we need to integrate. Integrate means only one difference. This dl will become, for the total length, the dl will change to integral of dl is nothing but the length, total length. So your equation you can write it as F equals I into L cross B, where L is the total length, B is the magnetic field. So we can write this as I into L cross B. You know that I is not a vector quantity. That is the reason we are writing I into L cross B is the force experienced on this conductor. For this also I have a shortcut to remember Bill sin theta. So the force I can call it as Bill sin theta. So remember, in the last video I told an equation F is equal to Q into V cross B. Q into V cross B is nothing but force experienced on a charged conductor, on a charged particle. On a charged particle. Instead of a charged particle, if you take a conductor, what happened to your equation? Bill sin theta. Bill sin theta. In Bill sin theta, I is not a vector, so I into L cross B. We are taking the length as a vector quantity here and the magnetic field, an angle we are taking between these two, or IDL we take. Right? So what I need to tell, if you place a conductor in a magnetic field, conductor experience a force and that force is equal to Bill sin theta. B is the magnetic field, I is the current, L is the length of the conductor and theta is the angle between the L and the B. B is the magnetic induction, right? And if you see here, this equation or this equation, you are taking three vector quantities, right? So I have written here again, three vector, if you're taking F is equal to L cross B, or if you take F is equal to Q into V cross B. In these two equations, we have two vector quantities. So how to find the direction? We can use a rule called Fleming's left hand rule. Fleming's left hand rule means you stretch your left hand like this. So this is my left hand, this is thumb, forefinger, middle finger, thumb, forefinger, middle finger. According to Fleming's left hand rule, stretch your left hand, forefinger, thumb and the middle finger in perpendicular. Thumb gives the direction of force, forefinger gives the direction of magnetic field, and middle finger gives the direction of current or the movement. So I can stretch the left hand such that forefinger, middle finger and thumb are mutually perpendicular to each other. Forefinger points the direction of magnetic field, middle finger points the direction of current, and thumb gives the direction of force. So I can use this rule to find the force direction for these two cases. First case, that Lorentz force also we can use it, this also we can use it, right? But these two in a shortcut form, I normally use the equation like a cross product formula. If you know that also easy only, okay? If you know the vector direction like in the Cartesian coordinate system, x, y, z axis, that in that way also we can find. So magnetic force we can find by the direction of magnetic force and the direction of current and direction of magnetic field we can relate with the Fleming's left hand rule. Now this is a case. The net magnetic force on any closed loop in a uniform magnetic field is 0, because if you integrate the total length for a closed loop, if you take the length becomes 0. So in that case the force will come as 0 for a closed loop. If you take a closed loop inside a magnetic field, the total force we are taken as 0. I need to discuss a question. In an experiment at a place where Earth magnetic field is 3.8 into 10 power minus 5 Tesla, the magnitude of magnetic current due to a magnitude of magnetic field due to a current flowing in a wire suspended freely in air of 100 gram, length 0.75 meter is 0.6 Tesla. So they gave mass they gave 100 gram, length they gave it as 0.75 meter, magnetic field they gave it as 0.6 Tesla. So they are asking what is the current, and what they are telling, this wire is suspended freely in air. Okay, if it is suspended freely in air means the weight of the wire is balanced with the force experienced by the wire in a magnetic field. So they gave a diagram like this. So it means that the magnetic field is inside. It means magnetic field and the conductor are perpendicular. So it means that the force is maximum, and I can write F is equal to Bill sine theta, that is equal to Bill, because theta equal to 90. I put a cross here. So it means that magnetic field is going into the plane. So these two makes an angle of 90. So F I can write Bill. Then if it is suspended in air, we know that F is also equal to mg. Then these two forces are balancing. Bill equals mg. Therefore I equals mg by BL. M is 100 gram. 100 into 10 power minus 3 converting to kg. G is 10 divided by 0.6 into 0.75, that is 2.18 ampere. 2.18 ampere. Clear? So in this way we can find the questions, or we can do the numericals of this chapter. So remember, F is equal to Bill sine theta is the equation. Here they gave a magnetic field, but that magnetic field when we compare with this one, it's very less. 3.8 into 10 power minus 5, right? So it means that 0.00038 like that's coming. So it's a very small quantity. That's what we did not do it. Now what I am telling next is a very, very important situation. Okay. A charged particle moving in a direction perpendicular to magnetic field. Okay. You can see here I put some into mark here. Into mark means the direction of magnetic field is inside. So direction of magnetic field, here it is. What is the direction of magnetic field? Inside. So they are telling charged particle is moving perpendicular to the direction of magnetic field. So they are taking this situation first you take, here you take, the first you take here. So magnetic field is perpendicular. So, and moreover that this is into mass, so magnetic field is inside. Now you see my hand, I am using my left hand. So what I am doing is, I know that my magnetic field is inside. See how I am keeping my hand. Like this I am putting. So like this means this is the direction of velocity. And this forefinger I put it inside. It means direction of magnetic field. And my thumb, you see, it's pointing up in the direction of force. If you put the same thing for this case also, you see the velocity like this, my thumb is pointing in this direction. If you keep that for this case, if you see this for this case also, we get the same thing. So it means that according to Fleming's left hand rule, if the velocity is like this, magnetic field is going inside, so the force is pointing towards the center. This place also it is going towards center. This point also, if you take it, force will go towards center. This also it will go towards center. Now they told the direction is perpendicular, so theta is 90. According to Fleming's according to Lorentz force, we know that F is equal to QVB sin theta. If theta equal to 90, magnetic force is QVB and it is nothing but the maximum force. And by using my Fleming's left hand rule, I understood this moves in a circular path. So it means that your magnetic force is converted to centripetal force. What is your centripetal force equation? mv square by r. So I can write that magnetic force is converted to centripetal force. Magnetic force is QVB equals mv square by r. When v and v get cancelled, so we can write it as QB is equal to mv by r, or we get an equation r equals mv by qb. R equals mv by qb. It means that what is the radius of the circular path? Radius of the circular path r equals mv by qb. What is the time taken for one complete rotation of the charged particle? It means t equals 2 pi r by v. That is 2 pi m by qb. 2 pi m by qb. This is the time period, time taken for one complete rotation. If you want frequency, frequency is 1 by time period, that is nothing but qb by 2 pi m. So I need to tell the very important situation here. When a charged particle is moving in a direction perpendicular to magnetic field, the charged particle moving in a circular path. Charged particle moving in a circular path. It means that your magnetic force is converted to centripetal force. And we get the radius r equals mv by qb. Time period is 2 pi m by qb. Frequency is 1 by t, that is qb by 2 pi m. If you want omega it is 2 pi by t. Omega we can write it as 2 pi by t. In this way they can ask the questions. Clear? Next case. So what I did is charged particle end up perpendicular. Now I am taking the next case. When a charged particle moves at an angle theta with the magnetic field. Theta means it may not be 0, it may not be 90, or it may not be 180. Not like a parallel or anti-parallel or perpendicular. Some other angle the charged particle is entering the magnetic field. Charged particle is entering in a magnetic field with some angle. So here you see like this. When a charged particle is entering in a magnetic field in some other direction, say for example at this point, the particle moves like this, because if you draw a tangent here, I get the velocity. But in this case, they are given the magnetic field B is along this axis. It means x axis they gave the magnetic field. But the velocity of the particle is not along y or z. It makes an angle. So it means that this velocity, if you resolve it into two components, I get a parallel component and a perpendicular component. See, I put as parallel, V perpendicular. V parallel helps the particle to move front, and V perpendicular helps the particle to move in a circular path. So I need to tell, when a particle is moving in a magnetic field at some other angle other than 0, 90 or 180 degree, the particle will move in a helical path. Why it moves in a helical path means this velocity we can resolve it into two components, that are V cos theta and V sin theta, or V parallel and V perpendicular. V parallel means it goes along the direction of B. V perpendicular means it is perpendicular to magnetic field. So I can tell that when a particle is completing one rotation and going like this, right? So the distance traveled, okay, the distance traveled by the charged particle in one rotation is called by a name pitch. So I can calculate the pitch by, I told you the particle is moving front due to which component? Parallel. So parallel component is nothing but V cos theta. So V cos theta into T. How to find pitch? Pitch is nothing but the distance moved in one rotation. So when a particle is completing one rotation, how much distance it is moving means you have to remember in these two components, which component helps a particle to move in the straight path. Parallel component helps a particle to move in the straight path. So I can write here pitch equal V cos theta into T. That is V cos theta into 2 pi m by qb. So I can tell that charged particle moves along the direction of field due to horizontal component, and at the same time it moves in a circular path due to its perpendicular component. Very important concept. Out of these two, parallel helps a particle to move front and perpendicular helps a particle to move in a circular path. Because of that, your particle will exhibit a helical path. So very important conclusion is, when a particle is coming perpendicular to magnetic field, it moves in a which path? It moves in a circular path. If the particle is coming with a parallel or anti-parallel, it moves in a straight line. But if the particle is making an angle, it moves in which path? Helical path. In helical path, pitch, they can ask, pitch is V cos theta into T. Clear? Now, the next concept is velocity selector. Okay? Velocity selector means, I gave a diagram here. We have a charged particle. Okay? And a charged particle is moving. Let a charged particle moving with velocity v in the presence of both electric and magnetic field. We are taking here the particle is moving under the influence of both electric and magnetic field. So if you see here the diagram, you can understand that here the electric field is along y-axis. Magnetic field is along z-axis. And the particle is moving along x-axis. So I am just writing here, electric field is along x-axis, that means I. Magnetic field is moving along z-axis, that is k. The velocity of particle is along, the electric field is along which axis? Y. Okay. Velocity is along which axis? X-axis. I'll repeat. According to this diagram, the electric field is along y, that means J. Magnetic field is along k. And the velocity is along I. Right. Now, in the last video I told you what is the total force exhibited by the charged particle in the presence of both electric and magnetic field. That is F electric plus F magnetic. F electric is QE. F magnetic is Q into V cross B. So we should write Q into E plus V cross B. F electric I can write it as QE, and E is along y-axis, that is J. So that's what I have written, FE equals QEJ. But F magnetic means we know that Q into V cross B. This only I told. You can use like a vector multiplication. That is very simple. Q into velocity is along I. So VI cross B is along K, BK. QVB is constant. What is I cross J? See, I cross, see, we can write here. In this case, wait. See here we have the vector method. So I cross J is K. But here it is I cross K. I cross K means it is coming in the opposite direction. If it is coming in the opposite direction, I cross K is nothing but minus J. Clear? I cross K is equal to, I will write it here, I cross K is equal to minus J, because K cross I only J. So I cross K is minus J. So I can write here FB equals Q into V cross B. Q is Q only. V means it is moving along which axis? I axis. So it means VI cross. Magnetic field is along K. So BK. So QVB, if you take it out, I cross K will come. I cross K is, what is I cross K? Minus J. So it is QVB minus J. So minus I put it here. So what will be the net force? Electric force is QEJ. Magnetic force is minus QVBJ. That's what I have written this case as Q into E minus VB into J, because both are along J axis. So we can write Q into Q, take it common. What we are doing, these two we are adding, because this is our equation. Minus is coming because of this minus. Now we take the next condition. We are taking the condition that electric force and magnetic force are equal. That means QE is equal to QVB. QE is equal to QVB. QQ get cancelled. Force will become 0. QE is equal to QVB. Force is equal to 0. QQ get cancelled. We get the equation for velocity as E by B. This equation is a very, very important equation in physics. V equals E by B, where V is called the velocity of the particle. So this condition is used to select the charged particle of a particular velocity out of a beam containing charges moving with a different speed. If you need some particular velocity, you just arrange E and B so that we can select that velocity, that charged particle from that. We can select the particle from that. So I'll repeat, we are talking about the velocity selector, means we can select a particular velocity or particular charged particle with a velocity by suitable electric and magnetic field. So what I did is, I shown a diagram here with the electric field and magnetic field direction. In this diagram, electric field is along y axis, that is J. Magnetic field is along z axis, that is K. And the particle is moving along x axis. Then I wrote magnetic Lorentz force F is equal to Fe plus Fb, that is QE plus B cross B. QE, there is no problem because electric force is along the direction of electric field. So QE into J I wrote directly, because electric field and electric force will be in the same direction. But magnetic force I cannot write like this, because magnetic force is Q into V cross B. V cross B, when we are doing, I need to take the direction of V and direction of B. So V into VI cross BK. VI cross BK. Here you should remember this formula. I cross K is nothing but minus J. So it is FQVB minus J. So from that, net force is Q into E minus VBJ. Then we are taking the condition, if F equal to 0, it means that electric force is cancelling our magnetic force. Electric field and magnetic field are coming like equal and opposite. So in that condition, we can write V equals E by B. That is the condition to select the particle. So this condition is called velocity selector. V equals E by B. V equals E by B. E is electric field, B magnetic field. I repeat, I discussed about charged particle moving with, at some other angle in a magnetic field, it moves in a helical path. If a charged particle entering perpendicular, it moves in a circular path. And I told you the very, very important equation in which the particle entering perpendicular to the when a conductor is placed in a magnetic field, it experiences a force, and that force is equal to Bill sine theta. And I told you these all the questions we can find the direction by using Fleming's left hand rule. According to Fleming's left hand rule, thumb gives the direction of force, forefinger gives the direction of magnetic field, and middle finger gives the direction of current, or like the moment or like velocity of the particle. Clear? Okay. I hope you understood the video. If you need more videos, subscribe our channel V Guide TV. Thank you.